think I'm just gonna like I'm gonna have the intro and then I'm gonna be like, but not anymore, and then we'll just jump to
Just go
this.
straight into it.
No more introduction.
Are you running a marathon? Oh my god, I could never run a marathon. You sure about that? My god, a marathon is like 42 kilometers, 26 miles. I don't understand those people. That used to be me.
But not anymore. Welcome to the Marathon Podcast. My name is Christian Warwick. Warwick runs on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok sometimes. Really happy to have you here. Welcome back if you've been here before. If you're new, welcome to the Marathon Podcast. Today's episode is a very different one. It's just a banter with some of the friends that I've made during this time with the Marathon Podcast. Robert Jackson, Mark Iyer, and Brandon Kelly. They've all been on the podcast before, so if you want to get to know them better, you can go check them out. Anyways, this is just an episode where we're talking about a lot of things. We're touching a lot on the Boston Marathon, the experience, and things to prepare for. So I think that a lot of those conversations will be very useful for you if you are planning on running the Boston Marathon this year or anytime in the future. Overall, just a very fun conversation, fun chat. I really enjoyed making this. Happy New Year, guys. How are you?
Doing great. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, man. Life is life. And
Life is life. It's the first ever like banter episode on the Marathon Podcast. I'm very excited about this one.
Feeling good.
Yeah.
this should be a fun one.
Yeah. I honestly have no plans, but I was thinking that we could just, obviously everyone should know who you guys are now because you all have been on the podcast. But I thought that we could just give a quick update on how running is going. Rob, we like talked about this before we started recording. So why don't you start? How has running been since we recorded? We recorded just before Chicago and you had high hopes. I guess you don't have great news in terms of Chicago, but maybe there are some better news now recently.
Yeah, so to go back to Chicago, it was kind of hampered with a nerve injury in my back and, fought to the end for having a bad day that I call it. 2:36 is still my second fastest marathon, so I'll take it on a bad day. It wasn't the day that I wanted, nor was it the day that I trained for, but it is what it is. I'll get it next year. But so far since coming back, like I told you, I feel like a shell of myself. Like I feel like I'm not good in quotes. I was telling coaches last night actually before practice. I said, "Man, this is hard. Like it didn't used to be hard. Like why is it so hard all of a sudden? I'm not having fun. Like I love the grind. I'm not burnt out or anything. It's just like man, it's taking a lot just to get back up to speed. But like I told you, it's taking a it's we're in that middle season of running. Like nobody really wants to run. There's no real races coming up, and the weather is just blah. It's dark all the time. It's more so just staying consistent. If I can stay consistent right now, my spring will be fine. That's what I keep telling myself because I've been through this phase so many times in my winter training for spring. So to stay consistent, keep clocking in. So right now, running is running. That's all.
You're the opposite though. It's gonna be summertime, and you're gonna make all of us look bad. You're gonna be like, all right, I'm in crazy good shape again, like you were up until the Chicago. So, which is why
That
which is why your bad day was still, per, you know, better than my bad day. So it was good. So it was good.
that is the goal because I have no real big plans for the spring. I mean, I have some races on the schedule. I don't plan on like full blown racing as far as like attacking a PR. So I'm gonna let the spring go, and then hit it hard in the summer for a big fall.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think you'll bounce back pretty hard. I think, Mark, you were saying that your day wasn't that great either. I remember seeing on Instagram that you were, saying hi, stopping to say hi to your family, and I was like, okay, this is not going very well, is it?
Yeah. That was the best part about that day. So it was good. Yeah, it was I was thankful to have Brendan there to take some footage, and then although he was mad that I didn't give him a hug and a kiss too when I started to run, uh, he called me out. But yeah, my goal was I was trying to run under 228, closer to 225 at Indy Monumental. And for whatever reason, At mile 10, I just didn't feel right, and just basically kind of I tried to slow down and see if I could just kind of shake it off for a few miles, and that turned into I just kept slowing down for the next 16 miles till I got to the yeah, I ended up running 2:51 and, so my like I said, Rob held his bad day better together way better than mine, so, it was good.
You know, uh, a side note, I was supposed to retire, Mark, in that race, but I was injured. The joke all, like, summer was, like, it was gonna be a showdown, him and I, in that race, and I was gonna retire him/send slash send him to the, senior citizen home, and I did not get a chance to do that, so
Would've been a perfect day for it.
yeah, I'm right now I got some fillers out for his next senior citizen home. We're go I'm just waiting to hear back, see what the cost is, but we're gonna get that ready for him in the fall.
You're right.
He'll need the Marathon Podcast sponsorship for that.
We're right, we haven't figured out we haven't talked fall. We're all gonna be in Boston in the spring, but, we all have
Yeah,
different plans for the most part, so.
I'll make
yeah,
sure to
exactly.
stop by and eat some Jello with him once or twice. It's low calories.
Alright, just to be clear, I came back from that race and ran another one, and I'm still alive, so I ran 2:31 at CIM, a month after Monumental so it was good. I was again, same thing, trying to chase a PR, I was on pace through, like, 35K, had a bad, like, 5K, and then passed a buddy, and it fired me up, so, there was a guy I knew, I passed him, he'd gone out crazy fast. So when I saw him, I was like, all right, this is good. So then I spent the last 2 miles being like, all right, don't let him get you. So I picked it up a little bit to the finish and managed to squeak out a little better day.
Because I think you had the best fall out of the or four of us because like I got sick and I was chatting a lot with Brendan throughout the whole thing of like, oh yeah, this sucks. And you probably didn't expect that you would be dealing with almost the exact same thing for most of December, huh?
Yeah. December wiped me out.
I
But it
don't know.
was
I
a
was
good
gonna
time to have
say
it.
Brendan's the only one who like hit his you and Brendan both had good fall. Like you ran Trondheim, right? And ran your PR, which was
Yeah.
nice.
Yep.
Brendan got his PR and then that was like early, late summer. And then since then we've kind of been just like taking a few swings and misses.
We went from fully functioning lungs to not being able to breathe. So that I don't know about you, Brendan, but I was kind of panicking at some point. They'd be like, "I'm never running a marathon again, am I?"
No, I tried to go out and run one day, and that was like the worst feeling and run of probably my life, honestly. Um, but like I said, I mean, it was a good time if I was to get sick, that was the time to get sick because it was after season before holiday. So now it's just apparently going around to everybody else. So
Yeah, I think everyone's sick. It feels like everyone's sick. I was like, when we were celebrating Christmas this year, people starting getting COVID. All like everyone in the house had COVID. I think that it must have been what we had this fall. So me and my fiance, we haven't gotten it yet. Fingers crossed. But uh, yeah, everyone seems to be sick these days.
yeah, to test the season, right?
Yeah. Okay, guys, Mark, you did mention it. I'm actually in Boston right now. I walked by the finish line yesterday. Took a picture of it. I'll send it to you guys.
Nice.
Uh, eh, that all of us are gonna be there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's gonna be a lot of fun. I thought that on the podcast too that we're gonna have like a Boston series, and some of us have done Boston before. Brendan, it's your first, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be my
Hmm.
first.
Yeah. Um, and Rob, you were on a live podcast here, weren't you?
Yeah, so the last time I was there, 2024, we did a live podcast, like, at the actual, like, packet pickup. It was dope. It was a really cool experience. I wouldn't be against doing that again, But in general, I think we should get the group together and do like a live podcast somewhere there, like even at a local coffee shop. That'd be cool. But no,
Definitely.
it was a cool experience for sure being on stage there because you shared the stage like throughout the week. There's so many great people that come across that stage, and you're one of them. So it was really cool.
I've seen so many people on Reddit or these Facebook groups just pop up of people asking about the Boston Marathon, and a lot of the questions are about logistics and how to get to Boston. That is one thing. Obviously, just flying to Logan, so shouldn't be that hard. But the other part of it is like where to stay. How do you get uh to the start line? Like, do you take the buses? Why don't you guys share a little bit of about your experiences with that and like your recommendations based on your experiences with Boston?
Do you want to go, Mark?
Yeah, sure. So, I've done it both ways. I've taken the buses twice, and then I got dropped off in Hopkinton and like walked in once. So, the first year I ran Boston was the when it came back in the fall and the spring. I mean, yeah, sorry, after COVID. So it was there weren't as many people. So it was low key. We rode the buses out, and the athletes village was like closer and less of a kind of cluster is what I've heard because weren't as many people. We actually had guys that we were running with that like wandered up and were like in the elite women's corral by mistake. I got pictures of them. They're like in our run club, but they just like had wandered up and they're just like standing there, and all the pro women are like warming up right around them. So I got a picture of them getting ready to go. But the buses, I mean, they're not bad. You got to get up earlier and walk down to the park. Get through security, and then just kind of sit for a while. The second time I took the buses, they took us to the wrong spot, so that was kinda funny. They, went
Oh no.
and dropped us off. I think I reckon from when you did your video, Christian, and you got dropped off at that one spot and then kinda like from your family and took a bus there, they took our bus from downtown and went to that spot. And the people that had run the race before were all like, "Hey, this isn't where you let us off. Like, this is not the right spot." Um, so then they took us and then they dropped us off again back where like they dropped the elite corral off like behind. So we got to drop off and like walk in and through and past the gym. Not so I've run Boston 3 times and have never been to Athletes Village. So like I'm always like
Really?
ordering some back way to go. Yeah.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah.
So I guess, yeah, Athletes Village. So in general, I've been there. This will be my fourth time coming up. I've been in Athletes Village every time, taking the bus every time. I mean, it's cool though riding the bus because you meet. I mean, you're gonna meet new people. I made some really cool friends that I still follow from this day, just from meeting them on the bus. Somehow, some way, they remember me, and then we connect on Strava, and then go to Instagram from there. But this year it'll be a little different. I'm staying with a friend, which will cut the cost down a lot. So his wife is just going to drop us off there, so I don't have to ride the bus, which will save us about a few hours of sleep, which is really nice. In
You gotta
general,
do a little
athletes,
walking, so you gotta be ready for that, though. It is that drop off point isn't, like, super close.
I mean, I'll take that instead of having to
Get
wake
up
up early, stand in the cold, and then get on the bus and then sit on a cold bus. But, Athletes Village is cool. I mean, it is definitely a cluster. You should definitely when you go, you need to make sure that you have, like, a tarp to sit on, like a big shower curtain or anything of that. Uh, Try to bring a big empty jug and a trash bag just in case the urinals are, uh, if you're a guy at the urinals and everything's packed up, you can throw the trash bag over, a black trash bag. Then you pee in the jug that way if you have to. Uh, but no, just in general, hope it doesn't rain because you don't wanna be sitting in mud and stuck around in mud for 2 hours, it feels like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Rob's right, though, about the buses are nice, like, so I met, I'm wearing my, Indiana Elite shirt, and that's the Masters, team that I run with, and I actually connected with them on my first bus ride, to Hopkinton. So, like, I flew all the way to Boston, got on the bus, and this guy gets in, he's like, "Can I sit next to you?" And he's from, like, 20 minutes away. He's like, "Hey, are you from Indiana?" I'm like, "Yeah." So we started talking, and I connect. Now we're teammates on this team. So it was awesome. So now I'm in a big group, and we do a bunch of races on the master scene for that way. But so it's like to Rob's point, it is nice getting on and meeting people on the bus. But someone's always like looking out the window, being like, "Oh man, we got to run this whole way back or whatever." It's always like someone's got to say it out loud when they're on the bus. Like, yeah, we get it. So
Yeah. Brennan, it's your first time running Boston. What are your plans for the weekend? And I know that you booked a hotel pretty close to the finish line, right?
Yeah, we're our hotel. It's I forget. I think it's the Hilton Boston Plaza or whatever. It's a 10-minute walk from the finish line, and it's right in front of the bus pickups. So the location, I feel like is, I mean, from my knowledge, is pretty key. But I'm just with my dad. He stayed at the same hotel this past year, so he rebooked it again before I even qualified. Because he was going no matter what. Uh, so just adding me to it was just a cherry on top. So just plan on cruising with him and taking it all in, and even have my sisters and my mom coming out, uh, which I don't think they've seen me and or my dad race together ever. So it'll be kind of a cool little family experience.
Yeah, that'll be nice. So I guess you both are taking the buses out then.
Yeah, yeah. We'll take the bus. Hopefully it's not as bad as last year when my dad took it. His bus got rear-ended. So that took we seem to have a lot of good positive talk about these buses here. But
Mine's
yeah,
all
that's
good.
a
just get on Rob. Red, get on Rob's bus.
yeah. He's gonna be Rob's probably gonna be finishing by the time we're even getting on the bus. So
I mean, I hope so. I hope so.
I hope so. I mean, I honestly I was surprised when I. So obviously you talked about it, Brennan, but also I had Savannah from Florida on, and she was talking about how the bus driver didn't make the exit and then turn around and then didn't make the exit again. And so it's
Oh,
just like I think they were what did you say? It was an hour and a half late. Obviously they have a lot of times, so
Whoa,
there's like they still have that buffer, but but she was
man,
like
yeah,
went from being pretty chill to being pretty stressed out.
yeah.
I
I
was
can imagine.
I would say to the first timers, depending on your budget, I would suggest staying closer to the finish line. Not solely for the fact that like after the race it's a short walk and you're already gonna be in some pain, but more so you want to be in the middle of everything as far as like the pop-up shops and all that. It's either you're gonna put some mileage on your feet, so you're gonna have to walk a little bit, but you rather do that instead of riding the T, which you can get a discount from doing that for Boston. Because doing the T, like a 20-minute, like it could say 20 minutes away on the map, but it's like a 40-minute travel time, and it just eats up all your time when you can just walk shop to shop to shop, and they're all in this like right there. So I would say, due to your financial, I would say if you got it, stay closer to the finish line, for sure. If not, I definitely agree. Stay further out, and you just spend. If you're gonna do that, I would spend one whole day, get an Uber, have them drop you off close to the finish line, and stay out there for the whole day. So you don't have to go out there continuously and do multiple long trips.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that that is also one of the things that I'm trying to reply to some of those questions online, especially about logistics of Boston. It's kind of like even on a normal day when it's not the Boston Marathon, getting from one place to another in Boston is super unpredictable. So like if you get in an Uber, people might be like, "Oh yeah, that will they will check on the GPS today and be like, okay, that takes 10 minutes. But it could be that an hour from now, there's something happening, traffic or accident, whatever, road works all the time. And just like then you end up, it takes you 30 minutes. And that is today on like a normal day in January. Come marathon weekend, everything is just
yeah,
so
It's
much
hectic.
worse. Yeah. I thought, Brennan, like you are now probably or you are representing a lot of the listeners who are doing the Boston for the first time. And I remember for me last year, I remember in the morning, I got up and I was in a bathroom, sitting on a toilet, and I was like, oh my god, there are some things that I have not really looked into. So I was watching like last minute videos about the logistics of getting to Athletes Village, and I was like, oh my god, I don't have the answers to this. And I realized that uh, there are probably a lot of people having questions that we might not really talk about when we're giving recaps, because then you talk about like the experience as a whole. But for you, Brendan, I'm sure you guys have talked a lot about this already, but for the podcast, like, do you have any questions like when it comes to the logistics or things to expect for that day?
Hmm. That's tough. I'm sure I can come up with some, but honestly, since this year I'm running with my dad, I've literally, I mean, outside of just thinking about Boston, I haven't given it any thought or any stress. It's kind of like my plan is to show up and just basically follow my dad around like a dang puppy, basically let him kind of do the thing, and I'm just there. But I guess not necessarily the race itself, but it's more so kind of like what was Rob just mentioned, spending a day like in Boston or whatever by the finish line. Is like, do our pop-up shops shakeouts entire weekend? Are they just day before? I've heard mixed reviews on Expo in terms of it not being too great, and more so just like a get in, get out. Um, is there like celebrity like appearances? And I mean, I put that in quotes as in like for us runners, we I'm sure we know who the celebrities are in terms of running, but um
By the time we get to Boston, it's gonna be the four of us. We're the biggest celebrities. So
Marathon podcast shakeout run.
that's right. That's I mentioned that to Christian. I think when we talked about
yeah, that is happening. That's happening. So that's one thing I can say for sure. There's gonna be a marathon podcast shakeout run. Uh, and honestly, I didn't spend like the days before. I went to the expo on the first day this year,
Good.
or in
Same.
2025. And the logistics, I was very impressed because it was so smooth. Like, you do have to walk quite a lot. Like, you get in, and you're like, oh, where am I picking up my bib? And then you walk around and up floors, and
All
they have
up.
escalators, so
oh
it's fine
gosh,
though.
Yeah, it's a maze.
It's definitely
isn't
it
that
was legit a maze.
Yeah.
Yeah,
is the first day Friday, or do they do a Thursday?
I think
Thursday, I think.
Thursday, yeah. It
Yeah,
just gets crowded. I mean, like the Adidas like merch section is just like packed. Like so it's kind of it feels like, like old school like Black Friday rush. People are in there just
yeah.
Yep.
like
I
trying to
was
try
the
on the
same thing.
clothes and push around and do stuff. So that can be kind of a mess, but there's great stuff. And yeah, like for me, I decided I'm gonna race it this year. So it's like 2 years ago. I went in 2024 with Michelle, and it was her first one. I was kind of like Brendan, like I was just there to like it was like a long run. So right. So I was less stressed about it. So it's like walking around and walking up and down the streets and going to all the shops. It's just kind of fun. So this year I like want to go out and like do stuff and see things that are out there and like take advantage to Brendan's question. They usually do runs like yeah, with athletes. So like we got to do a run with Molly Sinel when we were out there 2 years ago, and so Michelle's like her biggest fan. So we got like a picture and got to do the Puma run when she was still with them, and so that was a good thing. But this year it's like, all right, what am I gonna say no to? Just to like try not to be on my feet the whole time before race day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the last time I was out there, it was like straight business. I was out there the first day, and like Thursday to like Saturday, I had a full schedule. I had the podcast, I had pioneers, I had to meet with them, and then I had like the VIP party, and then I had another showing that I had to go to. Like I was like business. I did not sit down until like that Sunday the whole time. And I don't know if that led to me getting sick before the race because I had a fever going into the race. You shouldn't run a marathon on fever. Just putting that out there.
Heat
It
training.
might
Heat training.
Heat training. You might get a thermometer up the butt though afterwards. So it's not. I don't know if you want to trade that off. It's heat training for a trade off with thermometer. That's a famous story of mine. I don't want to relive that.
Rob doesn't have a good rep with Boston. and the med tent.
Yeah. I've been to Boston 3 times. 2 times I've ended up in the med tent. So, we'll
How are
try.
they doing? The medical team, are they good?
They're very
Yeah,
thorough. They
actually,
get the full inspection on for Rob.
they are very thorough. They're really good though, to be honest with you. I know the last
Yeah.
time it was a really hot day, and it was like a war room in there. They had like they had they had their own section for like people that I forgot what it was called now, but they were like bad, bad. Uh but in general, they're very good. I had a buddy that actually worked it, as far as like the med tent, and he's a really good athletic trainer, and he actually took care of me the first time I was there. But in general, they do a great job.
That's good to know. Safety first. I think that is also, you know, kind of. I guess you didn't ask about that, Brendan, but I was very impressed with all the logistics of Boston because it's such a big race, and the thing is that they also what makes Boston so unique is obviously like it's just 26.2 miles out of Boston. And then you don't have logistics on like a shorter loop or anything. They have 26.2 miles of like medical help and all of it. Like it feels really safe. That is one thing, but it also feels like they have control of everything. And that's also something that impressed me a lot. And same with Athletes Village, and we can talk more about Athletes Village after in terms of advice or tips on that. But I think also to your question about pop ups, the expo, all of that, I would say order like whatever you want from the Boston collection, order it beforehand. Like that's my advice because I did that and I was very happy I did because walking into the expo, it's like you said, Mark, it's kind of like a Black Friday. It's almost like COVID all over again. People trying to get everything like toilet paper, but instead of toilet paper, it's just a Adidas collection. And everything is so overpriced. I think it was like was it 50, 60, or $70 for like a bracelet that probably will break as soon as you start wearing it, right? Like it's insane how expensive it is. But I think that for me, like I already have the jacket for this year because you can buy that like marathonsports.com or Adidas. Like there are so many places you can actually buy it now. That is like if you're in the US. If you're not in the US, you kind of have to wait for the expo. But I've seen people saying just wait until the expo, then you can try it on. But I'm not sure if I would want to stand in line. And I'm sure they have enough jackets there for you too. Like they don't run out easily, but still, it's
Here's a
just
question. Are
yeah.
you gonna put your time on the jacket?
My time on the jacket.
Yeah, I mean, we got people that put times on their jacket. They wanna advertise their
Here we
race.
go.
Their race.
But where do they put them? Like where on the jacket? Like on the
Well,
inside, on where it
on the
says
on the Boston jacket, yeah, there is an actual template where you could write your time.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
I haven't done that, but I know people that like to put their times on their jacket. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think
So,
I'm gonna do that. I put mine on my Nike Alpha Flies that I wore, and then now I'm falling in love with the Asics shoes, and I realized that like, because in Norway the secondhand market is really good, and I realized I've just made it really hard for me to sell those shoes. So I have like almost brand new Alpha Flies that are just gonna be on my shelves with my PR on them. So I don't know.
I do that
So
actually.
we have a guy that we've been running with. He ran CIM too, and he crushed it. Like set a 8 minute PR, huge day. His problem is that he runs with us, and so he's got the slowest time in the group. And he put it on his jacket. So now Rob lets him know that that's it. He gives him a hard time for putting time on his jacket. So shout out to Will, Dr. Will, for being an all star, but not being fast enough.
My boy
But
Doctor
that
Will, aka Foot Fetish. Doctor Will.
You didn't put the very mid, the V mid.
D mid.
But I think that this is an interesting discussion about the jacket because I got comments after like I posted a photo wearing it the first day I had my jacket for the 26, and Cindy, she wrote like, "Oh my God, you're wearing the jacket before the race," and this is like a huge discussion.
Uh,
I've seen so
yep.
many people asking, "Is it okay to wear the jacket?" First of all, I'm like, "Well, I got in, I deserve that jacket." So like that is my take on it. What is your guys' take on wearing the jacket before the race? Because there's also a lot of like superstitious people are out there
Yeah.
thinking that they won't make it to the race day if they wear it.
So for me, since I've got 4 of the jackets now, the
Bragging.
first one,
I know, right?
a little light flex, little light flex. No, but
You wear
so
them all at
the
the same time. Usually puts them all.
Nah, we do got a homeboy that wears his religiously, but that's for another topic. Uh, but the first one, I will say personally, I didn't wear it until I got to taper time. So it was like I've completed the training for Boston. I qualified. I'm good. Like that was just my way of keeping me motivated throughout training. But in general, I think if you qualify and then you go ahead and buy the jacket, F it. Wear it whenever you want. You earned it. Like if anybody else has something to say, they can kick rocks. That's just my thing. Like
Yeah.
so, like Brendan, you get your jacket. You already got your jacket. You wore it tomorrow. I'm not gonna give you a hard time about it.
I've already worn it.
Actually, I would give you a hard time about it, but somebody else, I wouldn't. I mean, it is what it is.
Brendan wore it last week or whatever, and I gave him a hard time only because he always wears black, like 95% of the time, and he shows up like head to toe like Boston blue, and I'm like, who is this guy? Like I don't
Yeah.
know, I
Did
don't
you
know who
also
this
have the
is.
leggings,
Yeah, it,
I
Brennan?
yeah, I wear the tights and the jacket. I think that was
Uh,
Saturday.
yeah,
he's
I was.
extra. He's
I
extra.
was like, this is not right.
I had to make sure I wore it when Rob wasn't meeting us. So
Yeah, you picked a
Honestly,
good
though,
time.
you should just feel lucky to have this year's Boston jacket as the first one rather than the last year because the they really up the quality like with everything for this one. It's just like completely different jacket. So I honestly don't understand. I saw people writing into like how can this jacket cost as much as the one last year because last year's was it felt like some very cheap stuff. Well, this one is it's really nice actually.
that's exactly what my dad said too. He
Yeah.
was like, I'm shocked it's the same price that than last year's.
I
So
mean, I think they've been the same price since I've been running Boston because that this one is similar to the one that they had in 2022, the purple one. That was the last time they had like the OG as far as like the stitching and everything. So this is just the same as that. A very high quality. It'll keep you warm from what it feels like. Brendan can probably tell you. I mean, you worn it, so you would know if it keeps you warm. But the purple one that I have, it's like a sauna. It gets you hot. So it makes sense to why our homeboy wears it religiously.
I like it. What do you think, Brandon? Did you like it?
I
How
yeah.
was it to wear it? How proud did you feel?
I mean, I felt great. It's funny you brought up the jacket thing because I probably wouldn't have worn it if I was racing it, just because I don't know if I can't really say it's a superstition because I've never ran Boston, but this year since I'm just going in and just running it with my dad, I was like like what like Rob just said, I earned it, and so I'm gonna wear it. But we'll see what I end up doing next year when I qualify, if I end up wearing next year's jacket too. But in terms of the quality, I thought it was great. And then top that on top of everything else with the tights. And I think I had that. Yeah, I had their hat and everything. I had the full kit.
That boy got
I
the
just,
whole
Nice.
starter. He got the
I
Boston
just,
starter kit.
I just didn't have the Adidas shoes. I just need the Adidas shoes, and I'm good.
Are you guys wearing it when traveling into Boston or flying in?
Personally, now I rock my own branded apparel when I travel. So no, I will not be. But I mean, I'll rock it. But I usually bring another one too, because when you're there, you'll see a lot of people wearing different OG colorways, and that always stuck out to me my first time. So now, since I have like a little collection, I'll bring them all, and probably just go through
Wear
them,
one every day.
something like that for the most part.
I only bought the first one I ran, so I only got one. This will be my fourth Boston, but I've only bought the one jacket. Yeah, I got lucky. It was the 21, so it was the classic colors, and it was nice and everything. So I mean, it's great. It's a real nice jacket. And I'll bring it and probably wear it like after the race. But yeah, I'll wear like club stuff or some like coaching gear traveling in. Um, and then it's cool to see like the guys that have run the race. Like when you walk up on somebody who's got a jacket and that they have like 15 years,
Yep.
like embroidered on the back, that's like you're like, all right, this person's like that's fun to see. Those are
Yeah.
great.
I agree. But I'm definitely that little kid still who's like, "Hey, mom, look at me, mom, look at me. I'm running Boston." So I'm putting that jacket on when I'm leaving my house in Norway, and I'm gonna wear it, and I'm gonna walk around like I am the boss at the airport. And in Norway, people are probably like, "We have no idea what that is. It's probably just a marathoner." And then you get into Boston, and honestly, I was a bit disappointed because I was told that you would like people would just look at you and you would get so much attention. I didn't get as much attention as I wanted. It was like one local shop in like outside of Boston where this one girl asked me, "Hey, are you running the marathon this weekend?" And I was like, "Yeah." But that was kind of
Yeah.
all I got throughout the whole weekend.
I
So
mean, people are real nice after the race though. When you're walking around wearing your medal, like get a lot of like congrats. So
I've
I
gotten
feel the love
I've gotten
post.
free beers.
Yeah.
I was about to ask if you is there anywhere you get free drinks?
Uh, there's this place that I went to, several I mean, every time actually. It's by the harbor. It's a pizza place. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but you show them your medal, you get a free beer as soon as you walk in. But then in general, I've been to a couple places where like the locals will buy you beers. Been I I had beer bought for me a couple times, so yeah.
Yeah.
nice. But you're also very good looking, so it's kind of it's hard to
That
tell
is
if it's
true.
that or the medal.
Oh god. He doesn't need that,
He's
Christian. He doesn't need that.
we were talking about this before you you jumped on, Brendan. So it was kind of like Rob is coming perfectly shaved with a new haircut, so you know, killing
Oh,
it.
has he told you about his pre-race routine?
I briefly mentioned it, but it sounds like we should talk about it again.
Well, so
Here's your
I
spotlight.
I'm gonna get a fresh haircut, that's for sure. Um, if I have time, I'll get the eyebrows threaded.
Oh wow.
That's that's a good time. It's really not that bad. I actually have a video on my Instagram from last Boston where I got my eyebrows threaded before the race. I actually got them threaded in Boston because I didn't have time to before Boston. Uh, and then I'll do a facial the night before the race. Make sure you gotta look good for the camera. There's so
Yeah,
many
right. Yeah.
cameras.
If you're
I
gonna
know,
pay
and
that much for race
those
photos, you
photos
gotta
are
look
Yeah,
so
good.
good.
like look good, feel good, run good.
Yeah.
I'm always gonna live by that. So no ugly race photos. That's the goal.
No. Good. Nice. Do you shave your legs?
I didn't until BK. And then I did, and then I got
I
that
did.
massive PR. So now I shave my legs. Yes, I do shave my legs. I also shave armpit hair because armpit hair is useless. It's disgusting. I keep that shaved all year round. There's no need for armpit hair.
Some controversials here, but we're good.
Yeah. It's
What do you
like
need what do you need armpit hair for? Like nobody's ever said, "Oh man, your armpit hair looks good." They'll say like your chin hair and all that stuff, but like
true.
This
armpit
is a
hair.
question. This is a
Keep the
question for
stash.
someone higher up than us, but I'm sure we were made to have them somehow. Like they probably serve a function.
I feel more aerodynamic.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, don't they talk about that with like nose hairs too? Like, isn't that supposed to keep germs or something out of your system? Something
Nose hair?
along that lines.
Ah,
Yeah. So I
Well,
mean, I'm sure you're on to something with armpit hair, but I
Hey,
couldn't tell you.
just go with the stash instead. That'll
We'll
give it.
just
yeah.
we'll just chat GPT. I'm sure it will give us a good answer.
Yeah.
shit, I'm black. I need to help my lips be smaller, so I need to cover them up some.
Oh god.
Too funny. But Brendan, we we started talking about Boston. Now we're talking about everything else. I mean, shaving your armpits, guys. Like, to the listeners, great advice from Rob over here. Uh, but in
Confirmed.
terms of terms of athletes village, like, Mark, did you say that you've actually never been to athletes village? You never made it there?
No, because the first year, they were doing the buses on like it was again that fall of 21, and they were just kind of like doing a wait. You kind of like showed up and just kind of went when you got there. So we showed
Oh,
up and like walked right to the start line once we got off the bus, and then yeah, uh, 2 years ago we took the bus and then they dropped us in the wrong spot and we walked up, and then last year we dropped off and then we actually went to this place. There's like a spot called Boston Betty's, and it's this retirement, community that's there, and so Rob's gonna take me to the retirement community already.
There it is.
Uh, it's in Hopkinton, and they host, like, 20 people, so the folks come out, and they have, like, a spread, and they play music and have, like, pre-race stuff on the TV, and there's something for the older folks there to, like, be excited and be involved in the race. So I got connected through some friends, and you go and like hang out in the common room at the retirement community and then walk up to the start line. So it's a nice little like it's a different experience. I don't know what I'll do this year. I think talking about Athletes Village and Rob's point about like hanging out. Um, that's the big thing about a race in Boston is like it's so late, like right, trying to figure out like logistics of like timing and, like, second breakfast and everything. It's just like, well, how do I manage it? And, like, are you taking, like, a full trash bag of, like, stuff, to, like to wherever you're going to hang out before you race? But that's why I've never been to Athletes Village, so we kinda bypassed it or got a little, like, other spot we hang out at, so
yeah.
Well,
I don't know about you, Rob. Like, what are your experiences with athletes village? Because you made it, right?
yeah, I mean, I will say, like, if you have the chance to bypass Athlete Village, I would do it. But, like, in general, I think everybody that runs Boston at least once needs to do it just for the experience. Uh, but, like, if your sole focus is race and get in, get out, I would try to do something like what Mark said. But Athletes Village is cool. It's just the time that you're there is so long. The morning's so long, and you're just sitting in a village. It's not set I love Boston. Boston's cool, but Boston is not set up for you to be successful. Like, no in no world where you ask a runner, "Hey, you wanna go run a PR and sit in a grass field for an hour and a half to 2 hours before your race," and they're gonna say no. It's just not ideal. You're just contemplating your life the whole time. You're trying to stay warm if it's cold. I was there one year, it was super cold, I'm shivering, uh, but overall, the experience there is not bad. It's cool. A lot of people are very nervous. It's really nice if you have buddies, though. Like, if you have some buddies that are in Athletes Village,
Yeah,
it's super nice because then you're not, like, sitting legit by yourself, uh,
I did. I
not
was
knowing
sitting
anybody.
legit by myself.
Yeah, I was like
I
that my
was
first time.
I was sitting and I was sitting there for 2 minutes and like, oh my God, I look so lonely. So I got up and I walked a little bit. And I remember like, it's like a kid who's new to the school and everyone else, they have friends. Now it sounds like a pity party, but it's not. Like I was totally fine, but it's more that you don't want people to look at you and be like, oh my God, he's so lonely. Like, should we walk up to him or something? So I walked around and I also like beforehand, I heard about how everyone was so including, like in or inclusive,
Mhm.
everything was so inclusive at or in Athletes Village, and that was honestly not really my experience. I was walking around and I felt like everyone knew each other, and I didn't
Yeah,
know anyone, and I was like, "Ugh, I can't
it
sit down."
does
But yeah,
it does feel like everybody has, like, their cliques. Like, you just like, how do you know this person and that person? But honestly, it's just people just talking to them and introducing themselves. But my first one, I definitely felt out of place, like, how does everybody know each other besides me? And then this is when I used to race with Apple Watch. So, mind you, my first Boston was, like, my second ever race. So I don't really know anything about running at this point still. And I'm all alone and I'm at the Super Bowl running, and I'm like, "Man, I feel out of place." So I'm just
yep,
texting my wife, from my Apple Watch. Mind you, I'm killing the hell out of my battery, and the watch dies on me the last, mile and a half, so I was just running blind, and that's to this day, that's my worst marathon, but the watch died on me just because I was texting because I was so lonely in Athletes Village.
Yeah, that's what happens. I mean, or you could run with something else in an Apple Watch, and then you will still have some. But or you could just bring an Apple Watch and a normal watch and use it for texting in Athletes Village. But
Dude,
This year, Christian's gonna
I didn't know
need
anything
security
about
in athletes.
watches.
what do you say, Mark?
I said this year, Christian's gonna need security in Athletes Village. Everyone's gonna
Oh
want to
yeah,
get
d-
selfies. So
definitely. Yeah. No, I don't think we're there, but I'm probably gonna be just as disappointed because I'm gonna walk in there and be like, oh, maybe some people know me this time, or like maybe some people will actually walk up to me and say hi, and then maybe it's gonna be the same experience. But yeah,
You
we'll
might
see.
surprise yourself. Yeah.
I think people will know you. I'll have to go back and see how many of your guests are gonna run the race. I mean, you got all of us are gonna be there, and I'm sure there's a lot more on that list that are gonna show up.
Yeah,
So
yeah. No, I think you're right. Hopefully, I'll connect with some more people, but I I think that the way you guys, or especially you, Rob, like the way you describe Athletes Village is also to most people who are taking the buses from Boston, you will have to spend so much time there, right? So for me, my fiance's family, they just drove me to that drop off point where
it,
there's like another bus and it takes like 15 minutes to get to Athletes Village. We didn't leave home until 7:15 a.m. So it was
That's
like
nice.
pretty nice.
That's
And then when I got there, I didn't have more than maybe an hour, or like maybe not even an hour, because I was
that's
just
good.
walking around and, doing my thing, sitting down, walking around, being lonely, but then also going to, yeah, getting all the necessary stuff done. Speaking of, take a left when you get to into Athletes Village. There's a lot of porter potties there rather than taking a right, because the lines on the like main part of Athletes Village, it's much worse. So that's a hot tip, Brendan. If you feel like, oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Isn't the start from Athletes Village quite a hike too? Like your corral?
Yeah, I mean, you do you have a nice little walk from Athletes Village to get to the corral, and you pass a
it's a
whole new
long
porta
walk.
potty section too.
Yeah, but
that's
that
what I
one is
thought.
crowded though. That is super
Super
crowded.
crowded.
Yeah,
That's the crowded one.
yeah. No, it's quite the walk. I don't know how long is that walk, because I felt like we were walking forever.
I I don't know how long the walk is, but it does feel like it's forever because it feels like you're, like, walking up to your death because 'cause you're about to go run. Uh,
Hmm.
but I do know some people use that as, like, a warm up. Like, they'll warm up running that thing.
I
It's
did.
warm up
I did.
mileage.
I was just jogging a little bit there. Didn't do anything else.
Like you can't start. You don't want to start out too fast at Boston. So it's good
No.
to take it easy on your warm up.
Yeah. You should use those first downhills to just to use that as your warm up, honestly. Like that's probably a good idea.
I mean, that's what I do. I've just walked the whole time, like, "Man, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this?" And then, "Oh, time to go."
Yeah. That's I think it's gonna be fun, and I think especially for you, Brendan, like doing it with your dad in that way, it's probably gonna be quite the unique experience. And I think it's also nice to not have that pressure of
Right.
having to, like you guys said, to perform, because Boston, logistically, especially if you take the buses from Boston, logistically it's not the race for a PR maybe. Oh, I think you can still PR, but like it's not perfect, that's for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's what. So yeah, this will be my fourth time. The first time I ran it for fun, like just it was like the celebration of like getting that BQ. It's like let's go, and so ran ran the first like 13 miles of it with a friend, and then did like a 10 miles of it as a workout with another friend, and then got to the finish and was like, hey, we did it. So it was fun, but it was like no pressure because the first part we were around with a guy that was, you know, different pace, so it was just kind of easy and fun, and we were celebrating, giving out high fives. Second time I ran it, I raced it again. It was just stressful, like waiting. Just you just want to start, like right, is like being awake for 6 hours where you have to race is the worst. And then the last time I ran it, it was for fun because it was with Michelle because it was her first time. And after I raced it, the 2 times, I was like, "I'm never gonna race it again." But then as we were walking around and Michelle was having fun, I was like, "Alright, I wanna go race it." Like, this is too much, like, I wanna go race. It's a big race. Like, it's fun if you're out there in the mix. So, we'll see. You can come check back and see what I think after I try in a few months if I like my decision.
Yeah. But how is it for you now then, Brendan? Like in terms of your training and marathon block, are you still preparing for Boston as if it is a race, or is that just like a part of because you're doing another marathon? Is it a month
Yeah,
later or a month
yeah.
after?
I got Cleveland Marathon May 17th. So yeah, about a month after Boston, and my block for that doesn't start till last week of February. I'll do like a 12-week build. So Boston will just be like a log run type of thing for me. So not really planning anything for Boston other than just showing up.
Nice.
The
That sounds good.
Yeah, the main race is Cleveland this year, and I know we have quite a decent squad going out under Geyer for that one, so that should be a fun one.
Last week of February sounds much better than having to start a training block now, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, it's so hard. Now, I wanted to ask you guys about that. I'm sorry, Brendan. Like it's probably hard for you to answer this one too, but I do not feel like I've been able to have a successful marathon block before Boston because last year was just a lot of mess. But for you guys, you've done a few blocks before Boston, and I think we have all have similar climate where we're living. So training for Boston is kind of more difficult. Rob, you're the treadmill king, so it's easier for you, I guess. But how do you guys structure your training heading into Boston with snow and winter being so close to the race?
You can go, Mark.
I mean, for me, the biggest thing is just being flexible on long runs, like whether it's Saturday or Sunday. It's kinda what I've done. When I raced, Boston in '22, that winter, every Saturday was the coldest day of the week. So, every single like, it'd be, like, 30 or 40, like, all week, and then Saturday morning, like, teens and, like, feels like single like, it was just not it was ridiculous. So, I mean, some of that was just kinda gutting through and, like, knowing on those days that you gotta adjust your paces some, or, like, right, if it was icy or snowy, being like, "You know what? Today's not the day for the long run. Let's see if we can move it to Sunday or the afternoon or something." Just being flexible on the longer runs and trying to still get the work in is kind of how I approach it over the winter. I'm more likely to move a session or kind of alter the paces than like get on a treadmill and grind it out.
I would I would say, for the most part, since I've transitioned more outdoors for running, uh, I pretty much stay consistent. Everything stays the same besides the paces. If it's bad out there, it's bad out there. As far as like if it's icy. Now, I mean, I know last winter for training for spring, I definitely did some workouts on a treadmill. Every now and then, I will do a workout on the treadmill because I need to see like where the gears are at. But if I need to run easy, I'll just keep it outside because I mean it's fine to be a little slower on those days than usual. But if I really want to test the speed and we have a workout and it's not ideal, I'll text coach and say I'm going to the gym instead of going to practice.
Nice. I think we covered a lot on Boston here. We should probably move on to some other things. But yeah, do you feel, Brendan, like for you now heading into Boston and like just the things we talked about here, that it, if yeah, like you're doing it for the first time yourself, but also if you were a listener, do you feel like this would have helped you like to understand a bit more, or are you still just as confused? Or
Yeah, no. I think I mean it's kind of also hard to answer because I've talked to a bunch of people that have done Boston, so it's like already having that knowledge and being around it and stuff like that. But no, I do think some of the stuff that was brought up would definitely help on the insights of things, especially when it comes to like athletes village and like you guys said, the preparing like maybe multiple meals or snacks or stuff like that since you're out there for like whatever Rob said, like hour and a half, 2 hours or more, or whatever. Um, but yeah, I think for leading up to it, it was a good kind of insightful topic there.
Yeah. And just to end it, I think I realized that we didn't really answer your question in terms of like the expo of it like being overrated or whatever. Like I think that the expo it's a fun one. You find your name on that wall, which is always cool to see that your name is actually there. You're able. I felt like it was very chill. I was also there on the first day, so I think maybe that it could be
Less
that that made
traffic.
it, yeah, made it easier and better. But overall it's like I think any expo is kind of just an opportunity for the sponsors of the marathon to show their products, and like it is one big advertising arena kind of, obviously. So if you're expecting anything else than that, then yes, the expo might be overrated. But for me at least, I felt like you really feel like you're part of something because everyone's there, and you feel like, okay, this is a huge event that I'm a part of. So I thought that was cool. It could be that like doing it for the second time, you feel like it's more just a necessity because you're picking up your bib. I don't know, but
Right.
I wouldn't downplay it too much, to be honest. Like I think they did a good job, especially with the logistics. Like I said before, it was so easy to find your bib, and you don't have to be you don't have to worry about that part at least. So yeah, I'm curious about you, Brendan, because both of us we ran about the same time for our marathons, like the same weekend this fall, and you did a half marathon too after we talked last time. Uh, has it been for you like in training with the guys, like now you are a fast marathoner, like you are definitely up there, like your time is now more of a, I don't know how it is for you, but at least for me, I feel like people are more like, oh, that's a good time, like you're a fast marathoner now. Has it been more pressure heading into races or just trainings and runs? What it's been like?
Um, I feel like yes and no. It's kind of hard when you run with guys like Mark and Rob who can easily put you in your place. Um, but I think
Only
in
for
terms,
fun.
yeah, that is true. Just that's how that's the nature of our group. But um, I do think that this year was kind of this year, as in like 2025, was more of the year of like finding myself, I guess. Like I guess belonging. And I think like you said, hitting that sub 250 kind of put my foot in the door. And then now I think this year is more of like, okay, I'm there, and it's now like gaining that confidence that I didn't have this past year. Um, so it's kind of both. I think if you're a sub 3 marathon, I mean, you don't even have to be a sub 3 marathon to be a good marathoner or anything, but obviously that's what most I don't know if it's just females and males, but I know a lot of males that's like the huge target is the sub 3. Um so I think if you're under that, you kind of already stamped yourself as a good marathoner. Um so yeah, we'll see in what 4.5 months, 5 months of how this ends up.
But what is up with your group? Because like it was funny there for a while with the episodes, because Brendan kept on just giving me guest after guest after guest, and like it seemed like the marathon podcast was like an indie pod at some
There you
point
go.
there.
As week after week. Hey,
It
well,
was.
I could sit more. We have some people that definitely could be in there, but you might have to have your own like indie playlist if you keep this up.
The funniest thing was like Alex Baker came on, and I didn't even know that he was based there. So it was just like I don't know how many, if there were like five people in a row from Indy.
Yeah, that was
Uh,
that was funny.
yeah, but what is up with your group? Because I feel like that's the one thing that I'm definitely missing in Norway. I'm doing most of my runs by myself, and whenever I'm talking to you guys or seeing you guys on social media, you're running together and you have such a good group. Why do you think that is, and like how did it become that?
Man, how it became, I mean, shoot. I just started picking up running, like, again, I guess you would say 2 years ago, but, like, I ran past Geyer out and on a nickel plate multiple times because he was part of the Fishers Run Club, and just kind of just knowing who they were and stuff like that, but, um, I then ended up joining Fishers Run Club, um, what, a year? No, 2 years ago when I started, uh and then for Rob, it honestly was, I think I like posted my run on Instagram and he's like, dude, that's in my backyard. And then we just started kind of just talking from there. And then it's what's weird is like all of us, I mean, Mark with an asterisk, all of us usually have to run in the early AMs before the rest of the house wakes up. So it just works out. We all live within 10-15 minutes of each other and we all have to be done by a certain time. And so we just will usually text each other the night before asking where we're meeting and kind of just show up and the group and we're just finding more and more people. So like, I don't, it's for me, it's great because I'm not a solo, like it's so hard for me to get out of bed if I'm not meeting anybody. I like, and that's just the honest truth of it. Like if I'm not meeting someone, it's probably a high possibility that I'll probably put off my run. Um, but yeah, it's honestly been a really big like accountability thing for me. If I'm meeting these guys, then I know I got to show up because the last thing you want to do is no show these guys, and you'll get a lot of
No.
crap.
Yeah, you will.
Yeah.
Definitely.
There was only one time last year where Rob and I were met. And we gave you like 5 minutes. We're like, where's he at? We had to go. You slept. You were like sick and slept through your alarm or whatever like that. So
Yeah, no, I don't even think I set my alarm. I think I woke up with my phone still like by my head. So
No, it was crazy because we adjusted for him, and then he didn't show up. That's what made it
all
worse.
right.
Rob wasn't even gonna. Rob, I think, was gonna run on the treadmill or something. And I was like, "Oh, come!"
Yeah.
Like I gave him a hard time. I was like, "Dude, just come on, it's not that bad." And then I didn't even show up. So
Oh, I was hot. I was hot.
Yeah. So what's the temperature like that? Because like obviously we're talking here now, and I can tell that you guys like it doesn't seem like you're afraid of saying it how it like telling each other like if you're pissed off or just like making comments. Is it as transparent as that when you are running together, or is it even more?
uh, y'all want to answer?
I think it just depends on who says something that fires somebody else. No one's afraid to hold back or like. I think it's all good. Everyone is like supportive of each other, like they should be. But also like it isn't gonna hesitate to call you out on your BS if you got something ridiculous to say. Um, so on the runs, like yeah, we got anywhere between like 5 to like 10 of us that can meet up in those mornings, and so it's always fun to talk back and forth and bring some new energy. But then we have a smaller like text group that is always like firing off to people, and it's got jokes or whatever it is, or trash talk. So I think it keeps everyone motivated, and that's where uh, our buddy Will, who like I said had an awesome year, but is getting knocked down for being mid because he's the
For the
slowest
record,
marathon PR in the group.
he's the one that pointed out the number on the jacket and calls himself mid. I don't call him mid, and I don't talk about the time on the jacket, but if he's gonna put it out there, I'm gonna take the bait. And we were just running that day. I was like, man, just imagine if you just put your time on your jacket just to remind people how fast you are. Like that's super cool, you know? And and the time's just sticking right there. I was like, that's a great time to have, man. It's super fast. Super fast guy.
You
Do
got
you
a
do you
lot of
make any comments like it would have been better if you had, and then you say your own PR or something like that?
Nah, no,
no,
I
goes on
ain't
gonna
gonna
roll
do
up it's
that to him.
faster.
It's I will say I like to talk the most crap, that's for sure. I think everybody
Facts.
I think everybody will agree
Rob's either
that
really quiet or like on a full burn. Like you can't get in like he's just like he's either like quiet thinking about something or he's like ripping everybody. And you're like, all right,
But when
on
when
mission.
it's quiet, is something wrong, or is it just that is also the normal?
if I'm quiet, I'm either just not feeling it that day. Like I'll just let people live. I ain't trying to come for people's heads that day. Uh, but because my goal is really to make people laugh. So if we're laughing while we're running, we're in good terms. Like where everything's good. But sometimes I'm just not feeling it. Or if I'm going through some mental stuff, I'll be quiet and go ghost in the group chat sometimes. Which I've been called out,
Facts.
for. But Brendan does it too. So I'm not the only one. But in general, yeah, I like to be the funny guy. So that's my goal in the group.
Nice. Yeah, I think that that is such a great like advantage that you guys have though, to have that group and have, and then you hear a lot, like there are a lot of groups having that, but like you said, Brendan, sometimes it's so hard to just get out of bed. Or I've had times where I've just, I'm dressed and it probably takes me still an hour or two to actually get out the door
Oh,
because there are like so many
100%.
excuses. But if you're meeting up with someone, there's like that doesn't really happen. So
Yeah.
it's
I will say I'm the one that's like always late, like a minute or two or even 3. But then I always say like, well, I'm the fastest. That's okay. So
Now Rob's late, and then everyone's out there waiting for him. He finally gets out the car door, puts his gloves on, gets his watch started, and he's like, "All right, are you guys ready?" Like what? Like he's like giving us a
yeah,
hard
that's
time.
annoying. That's
Time to go.
annoying,
Like,
Rob. You should stop doing that.
but the thing is though, I try to make up for it, and then I get oh my god, I get blamed for pace all the time. I get called the pace pusher, and we got a whole
I
group
have an
chat
idea for you
dedicated.
guys. You guys just start because Rob will just catch up with you
Just catch
anyways because
up.
he's
let's get it
Touche.
right. Yeah.
faster.
The crazy thing is that they do that.
Dude.
Oh, the thing is they'll do that, and then I won't be able to slow down after that, and then it's gonna be my fault again. So
Then yeah, he'll push the pace once he passes us.
we got a group chat dedicated to me, and it's called RJ Pace Pusher.
That's too funny. Yeah, you should add me to that chat just for me to observe all of this happening. Yeah,
It's just me getting blamed for everything.
exactly.
I'm
That's
a
why I want to
victim.
be there.
I'm a victim.
Right. It's
You're a
been
victim.
nice the way the groups come together, like through the local run club at first, and then just kind of, you said, you connect and see people that are running, similar times to you, and jumping in, and then Brendan's lucky too. So and I'm like I'm coaching like 4 or 5 people that are all kind of similar, and so being able to like get input and write workouts where they've got people to do work with, outside the easy days helps. And like again, that's always fun to push as well too, to say, all right, well, Brendan's kind of the lead in the group, so I got to keep him on his toes as everyone else is coming for him out there, writing workouts. So
But do you notice a lot also in your community the running boom? Because like I feel like 2025 is just it's been coming for a while, but 2025 is just like everything blew up. Everyone's running marathons. Is that something that you've noticed locally as well?
Yeah, I mean, you're either running or taking GLP. So I mean, pick your poison. I'm just
Oh.
saying. I'm just saying.
It is funny slash interesting because I mean, like we already said, we run together quite often, and then it usually, I mean, in good manners, we'll always say hi if we see other runners, but most times it's like, I don't want to say we know everybody, but we typically run the same time, usually around the same place, and so if we see new people, it's like we that happens, and usually we do know them, but sometimes we don't, and then we're just like, but who are these people type
yeah,
of thing.
you're like, wait, I don't know who you are. What are you doing running?
Right, like, why are you out here?
Like you're running our pace. Why aren't you in our group? Like,
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
That's how I felt when I was a speed skater. If you saw some inline skater, because we would just use parking lots in my home city, and so all of a sudden one day we saw this guy skating. We're like, wait, who is this? And like then it's honestly it is that way. If you are inline skating, I will know who you are unless you're not from Norway. Like, and I'm not talking about in my city. If you're not from the country, then I might not know who you are. But if you're from the country, and that was actually I. He's a good friend of mine still. He's from the Netherlands. He was studying there, but then it was actually just like you say, because like with running, it's actually not like that. It's not like I can go out here if I lived in Boston and be like, "Hey, I haven't seen this guy before. Why don't I know him?" And he's running. That would be a bit weird,
I
but
feel that because, like, if I see somebody running in my neighborhood, I'm like, "Are they trying to show me up?"
Trying to take your segments.
Yeah, like, "What are you doing? Like, why are you running?"
That's
yeah,
I mean, that's actually that's how we met our inner like how we formed our inner group with Will and Adam is like I was running at the local track one day and it was pitch black and I was meeting other people and there was Will who none of us knew running at this track and then it was just like you just do your little FBI stalking, try to figure out who this other random person is. And then same with Adam. Adam, I think, joined the Fishers Run Club, but like never showed like hadn't showed up to a club run yet. And I think Geyer had, since he's part of the committee and stuff, had saw that. And then we looked him up on Strava and we saw this dude's running like similar paces, if not a little faster, like faster than me, not them, but um around the same like areas that we would always run. So it's like once you connect with those guys, you just kind of form your own little, I guess, your little clique.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that is also what's so nice, and I've experienced that. I was telling Christine, my fiance, just before jumping on this call. I was like, I'm gonna chat with some friends that I've made through the podcast. Like we never met, but still like running. And it's like I feel like we are friends, which is kind of crazy. And I realized that when I made some of those like when I made a recap episode of 2025 as well, I keep referring to people as friends. I have no idea if you guys look at me as a friend or not, but like,
Yeah.
I look at
I
you
do.
guys as a
Yeah,
friend.
we're excited. We're excited to meet up with our friend in Boston. You're hosting all of us in Boston because
We've already
you live.
talked about yeah, we've talked about you on runs when we talk about Boston.
Awesome. Yeah, nice. I'm very excited to meet up in Boston and to have, you know, to get to actually meet, but it's also kind of crazy what this community can do, and I think that that is what is very unique about running as well. Everyone it's very inclusive, regardless of what I said about Athletes Village. It's kind of just you do you feel like everyone wants to include you and you're part of something. And I guess that is one of the things that has like surprised me the most about this podcast as well. I I never really thought about how much of a community it builds, not just like between me and you guys, but also between other listeners. I feel like see it on the Strava group that people are connecting. And it's really nice to see.
Yeah. I mean, so I definitely it's like, you posted that, photo, you were, like, out on one of your first runs for a while, and you're in that park in Norway with all, like, the statues, and I was like, "I've been there." I was like, "I gotta find
Yeah,
this photo to send you." I was like, "It's definitely something I do." I was like, "Check it out." Like, I've been in that same place. I was like, "I know where you're at running." So I was just, like, excited to see you back out and be like, "Ah, that's cool." Like, you're in a spot I recognize. Like, I'll tell my friend. I know where he's at.
yeah. The support is crazy in a lot of ways like that. And for those of you who haven't been to that park, it's a pretty unique park. It's full of naked people and penises. So it's kind of hard to not recognize it if you've been there.
I was not
There's some
expecting the
wild
penis part to come.
statues.
Yeah. What are you saying, Rob?
I was not expecting the penis part to come through there. That was a good one.
No, no.
Yeah,
It's
the picture I have is, like, next to a statue where this guy's, like, throwing and kicking, like, 3 or 4 babies, like, throwing these babies and, like, kicking these babies. It's wonderful.
it is crazy. I'm not sure if it would fly anywhere else than in Norway. Maybe the Netherlands. Yeah. I'm curious. Like 2025 is over, and I made this episode where I talked about running gear and tech, and I feel like all of us were pretty like interested in all of those things. What was your like favorite piece of gear or tech in the year that passed, like 2025? Either something that you discovered in 2025 or something that you just couldn't live without.
Huh.
I got one.
Go ahead.
Oh, you good? You good?
No, you're good.
Oh, I would just say, I mean, I don't want to be cliche and say like my watch or anything. So, I think the Asics Mega Blasts were a huge hit in terms of literally an everyday type of shoe, or everything type of shoe. Um, it's like, I mean, they had all this hype and stuff with like the Super Blast coming out, and those were, I mean, a pretty good hit. And then the Megas, literally, I think just swept it out. Like they nailed it on the head in terms of, especially if you're, I guess, if you're trying to like travel and you only want to pack one pair of shoes. In terms of Asics, because that's just what I run in, I would say that that would be like my shoe, my go-to shoe. So that would be my gear of the year.
Yeah, cool.
So
So you use them for your easy runs as well.
I have, yeah. I've used them in
Yeah.
easy runs. I try not. I mean, I'm trying not to use them as much. It's just hard since they feel so dang good.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, ASIC wise, I'll use my. I'll put Nova Blast in there as well as the Nimbus. Usually, those will be like my easy day. But if there's any like small pickups or just like a long run without like a lot of work, then I'll usually put my megas on. So
Cool.
I'll follow up with that Mega Blast. I'll say the same thing. Uh, that's another
I
reason
thought
why I
you
get
were a
blamed.
Nike guy.
So I'm a Nike like apparel guy. Uh, shoe wise, I race in Asics. Like that's my shoe. As far as an easy day though, I'll go through different brands. Like I wore 361. Wore some Brooks, some even I have a Hoka trainer, things like that, just to get different feels and just to know about different tech. But when it comes to race day, I'm definitely gonna do Asics. But those Mega Blasts, I promise you, man, I haven't ran an easy run like slower than a 715 in those things. Like they're just they're just fast. And then I get blamed for pushing the pace. And they got the same shoes on. They just don't know how to use them.
It's
I'm
the
not the
shoes.
criminal. They're the
I'm
criminal.
gonna I'm gonna have to put my carbons on if Rob's got his megas on.
See? I get blamed. But yeah, the Megas are definitely, I would say that. I mean, just in general, the ASIC racing shoes, you can't go wrong with those. I think that was the best tech. I mean,
Yeah.
it got me a PR, so I'll take it.
Yeah. Mark.
Yeah, I was a Nike guy for a long time, but then yeah, I tried out the Mega Blasts and have really liked them. I've been putting a ton of miles on in the fall for easy days, and then I got some Metaspeed Skies for workouts and some long runs. They've been great. I did race in the Puma Faster threes, um, and set like a half PR, and my third fastest full ever in them. So those were really nice. So definitely some different. For me, I've been nothing but Nike for 3 or 4 years and running much stuff. So this year, I really started to kind of like I've got like a full like closet of Asics now over the last couple months that I've really enjoyed. So that's been good. I mean, otherwise, I've been trying some different like yeah, I've used the same watch, like all the same apparel. I tried out some, I like the Bandit, half tights because they were shorter. The Nike ones that I had, like Nike doesn't make any like really good. I couldn't find any that except their trail ones that have outer pockets on the half tight.
Pockets.
Yeah, and then they were longer and just kinda, like, were annoying, so I tried some Bandit ones, and they were nice just 'cause they were shorter, so, I figured I was too old to own Bandit stuff, but, that
Nah, you're not. I think that I agree with you on that. Nike's actually, I saw yesterday that they're coming out with some tights now, or like half tights with outer pockets like that. So they're
That's
Oh,
finally
out.
you got
I
yeah.
send
know.
that. I need to see that. Send that.
Yeah, it was
That
on
was the
Ben Johnson's Instagram, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know who
that
that
was
is.
the
So
hardest thing. I feel like for me, I'm very brand OCD. So it's like if I have an Asics top and shoes, I wanted Asics bottoms, but like Nike, Asics, Adidas, all those brands just had regular half tights with maybe like the small key zipper in the back, and it's like you
mhm.
can't run a marathon in those. I mean, it would work for like the elites who get bottle service and gels handed to them or whatever, but not for us regular people.
No.
So I had to go the bandit route.
But it's interesting what you guys are saying about ASICs, and I feel like Mark, I found myself in the same situation as you, where I've been a Nike guy. Like I've been trying other shoes, but always kept on coming back to
Yeah.
Nike. And then I've always had this feeling that okay, ASICs will be better for my legs. So it's like in terms of sustainable running, I was like ASICs is probably better, Nike more on performance rather than keeping me free of injuries. And then now I also have like a full ASICS rotation. The Mega Blast, I love them, but I feel like I've rediscovered Nova Blast 5 like several times throughout this year. Where it was like I started after Boston Marathon, I bought a pair and I was like, oh, they're good. And then for some reason I went away from them, and then I got back to them, and now like I just bought two or three pairs just in case they're discontinued for some reason, or like if they come out with Nova Blast 6 and it's not as good.
Yeah.
So I totally agree with you, but also I'm on the Metaspeed Edge, and I've never tried that good of a shoe. Like it's crazy how good that one is.
It's a
Nice.
great shoe. Great shoe.
Yeah. But Rob, we were talking when Vomero Premium came out. Like,
Mhm.
cause you got your hands on some of them pretty early on. Brendan, you even won a pair, didn't you?
Yep.
Yeah.
Have you tried them, Mark?
No, I've not tried them.
Because what are your guys' like impression now that it's been a few months? Because my first run, I was like, oh my god, these are the best shoes ever. I'm gonna leave it at that. What were your impressions like,
The sh-
or
the shoe.
what are you left with
Uh,
now?
the shoe feels like a pillow. I would say actually, from the looks of it, it doesn't look that it's like fast, but I feel like you can get some pickup in there for sure. I mean, I like some good strides and stuff like that. Nothing too crazy. Overall, I think it's a solid shoe. Uh, I haven't ran them that much to give you a full breakdown like BK can, so I'll leave that to BK.
No, you stole what I said. What I was gonna say is that I think the premiums are literally like a pillow. They're great for when your legs feel beat up, like after a track Tuesday or a track workout or whatever. If you're doing a long run the next day, I think they're great to just put on and take a lot of the beating that the other shoes probably don't. But also, I do like Rob just said too, is that you can do some pickups. I mean, I wore them when I stole Geyer's birthday Strava segment, which is kind of a thing we do for each other on each other's birthdays. But you definitely could get some speed. However, I wouldn't do anything crazy. Like I wouldn't do any track workouts or anything. Where you've been. I don't think I'd wear them on a long run workout either. I think they're just strictly just your easy day type of shoe.
But
Yeah.
I found it very interesting for several reasons, like, or several things about it. First of all, it's so stacked, right? Like so
It's
they've
massive.
yeah. So and I don't mind that, but I did notice that it's so much easier to just like I don't know. It's really hard because sometimes you don't feel like you have control of your legs, right? Like they're just flying everywhere because of that. I
Yeah.
feel like that is one thing. But the other thing is that, like you said, I also feel like you can easily run faster with them. And there was a point where I was like, well, I'm gonna sell all of my shoes and just wear these for everything. But then I realized after an easy run, when things felt really comfortable overall, and I came back home and wore them for just one run, and my calves and legs were so tired after, like, or like aching. And so I was like, oh, something is up. And I'm not saying that this is why, but it was funny or ironic that Connor Mans was like, it was the poster boy for the premiums. And it's like, this is how I stayed free of injuries, blah, 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 blah. And then he paced his wife for that marathon and now he's injured. And I was like, well, it's not injury free now.
Yeah. And I was gonna say I haven't run in them, but and I know both these guys got a pair, and they didn't show up in them too much. So I was like, well, they can't be that great because when we show up to run, they're not wearing them on the regular. So it's
I
kind of
mean, I
like
will
it.
say I haven't noticed BK wearing them, to be
Yeah.
honest, outside of the beginning.
So
Oh
for
yeah,
me, that's a vote of like whether you really like the shoe, like if you're showing up in it every day, then it's a hit. So,
yep.
but
I did wear them today.
I will
You wore them
say the
today?
Yeah, I wore 'em this morning. Part of that was on me because I usually I took this from Rob. I usually have my shoes in my trunk, like in a container, and I took that all out after or like for the holidays and stuff. And so I spaced that I actually had my Nikes. They're just in the box still, and not even in my container. So I rediscovered that I actually still have them in my garage. So I had to break them out again.
That's funny, I did that the other day with some Jordans. I was clean brand new pair just sitting in my office. I forgot I even had them.
It's like Christmas, dude.
Pretty much.
But how are you? Because like you mentioned it too, Brendan. Like you are very brand conscious when it comes to that. Like for me too, I'm like if I'm wearing Bandit, it's gonna be full Bandit. If I'm wearing Tracksmith, it's gonna be full Tracksmith. Uh, and obviously, just a silly thing that I made up in my mind that I have to do it that way. But I also almost feel like that with my shoe rotation that I want it to be the same brand. Does that also keep you from wearing the premiums then because you are on like a full ASICS
I
rotation?
my container of shoes is all Asics from race day, easy day, track day, like you name it. And then I have the Nikes that are just kind of like like a side piece, I guess. And I will say it does feel extremely weird. I would not have gotten these shoes. I wouldn't have bought these shoes if I didn't win them. Just because they are Nike. Nothing against Nike. It's just like I'm ASICS oriented. And so it does feel weird to put them on and not my ASICS, but they are, I will say they are good easy day shoes. I
Just
can't knock
just
them.
to p
So
just put this out there, I love Nike. For anybody listening, I do love Nike. I got a Nike sponsored teammate, so make sure I get love from her, so I'll just put it out there. I love Nike. I ain't trying to mess up my Nike plug because
If
he
if
said that.
Nike is if Nike is listening, Rob is still interested in sponsorship. He's still interested.
Thank you. You know you need a black runner. America.
we're
I'm
we're
just
just
waiting
we
for
just
my marathon podcast hat to get in. That's what my
Yeah,
CLA cab.
it's actually gonna show up. Like I got an email from them yesterday that it's shipping from Canada to Norway
All right.
as we speak. So January, it's gonna be. I'm gonna start shipping. I've finally found some logistic for that because obviously now with tariffs and all of that, without getting too political, I realized that it's gonna be a bit more expensive now
I
than
got
it would
I
have
got
been.
I got too much hair. I need a headband, bro.
Yeah, maybe I should start making. I think you texted me as soon as I
I
posted
did.
about the hat. You were like, "Sorry, like I'm not a hat guy."
I got too much hair. Like when I do wear a hat, like I have to tighten it like super tight in the back or it'll just fly off. And then if it flies off, my hair's already like fucked. So I'm like, damn.
Yeah,
So
no,
I just
you're
I just
good.
I rock the curls all the time. Or a
Yeah,
visor,
you
sometimes a visor.
you should just like when you get that race haircut of yours, just have them like, make the marathon podcast art on the side.
Hey, listen. If we gonna do that, we gonna be talking some sponsorship because I can't. I love
I'll
you, but
give you a
boy,
hat that you won't wear.
give me a shirt at least.
Yeah,
Whew.
yeah. I'll have to start making those as well. We'll see. Hey guys, we've been talking now for like an hour and a half. I've loved this. I think this is a lot of fun. What do you guys think? I think we should make this like a regular thing if you're up for it.
nah, would love it.
Oh, I've been in this before. I love it. I mean, a monthly segment would be dope, to be honest with you. I mean, that's
Yeah.
just an idea. You take it how you want,
No,
but
I love
I
that idea. I think we should take it. I love that all ideas that are mentioned on air, it's just happening. If it doesn't happen, I'm gonna look like an idiot.
Yeah,
Intro.
I don't even know how you're gonna recap this one.
No, that's gonna be hard. I think I'm just gonna like I'm gonna have the intro and then I'm gonna be like, but not anymore, and then we'll just jump to
Just go
this.
straight into it.
No more introduction.
I mean, the next
you've been
one.
doing great, but I mean, you got with 3 episodes a week. It's been just kind of impressed the way you keep finding folks and keep getting new stories and new episodes out. So yeah, if we can help by doing a banner episode, like it's gonna be a big year. We're excited, and so I'm sure we got plenty we can cover. So
There's a lot of shit
Awesome.
talk between
Thank
the
you.
three of us that can go on. We all like to talk a lot of crap, so it'll be fun. Then, like, Guyer's a coach. He coaches the whole group chat besides me. So it's I like to talk a lot of shit to his athletes. Uh, just put that out there. It's every time I see their
Facts.
athletes, if I see his athletes in a race, it's kill mode.
I love that. But last thing we need to touch on, unless there's anything that you guys want to touch on, it's kind of like you mentioned it, Rob. Like obviously, Mark, you're a coach, but we also briefly talked about it, and we're gonna talk more about that on the pod later. But you have a big event, right, in Indy that you mentioned to me.
Oh yeah. So we got the Polar Bear Winter Classic is February 28th in Indy. It's either a 5K, 5 mile, or you do them both, and that's the bear. So there's like 45 minutes in between the 5K start and the 5 mile start. So it's one of the oldest races in Indiana, 44 years. So I'm owner of that race. So hey, if you're listening to the podcast and anywhere in the Midwest, come run the Polar Bear at the end of the month and make it a fun thing. So we got some cool retro gear this year, like throw back to the '80s and like shutter shades on the metal. So it's cool stuff. So I got Brendan and the crew sign up to race and represent. Last year he ran super fast there on his way to some spring PRs. So yeah, and end of February, Polar Bear in the Indy Polar Bear Winter Classic. So thanks for shouting that out. We'll see if
No, of
Rob
course.
was going to be out of town or like at a gymnastics tournament for his kids, which I get, but not now. I might be in.
I'm tentative.
Man, okay, all right, I'll take it.
Gotta pick my races.
Priorities,
Selected.
Rob.
Hey,
Nah, just messing
I'm
with you.
just
I'm
not.
in
I'm
Tokyo,
not
so
trying
I
to get
can't.
beat.
But yeah.
I'm not trying to get beat by any of his athletes. So I gotta wait till I'm in shape.
Yeah, I got that.
Here we
So it's not priorities, it's just pride. Yeah.
Perfect.
Well, is there anything else you guys want to touch on before we end it, or are we good?
I'm
Oh,
good.
this is
Oh.
great. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
Perfect. Thank you so much, guys. We'll try to make this a monthly thing. It was fun to not have to be serious the whole time. It was a different kind of episode. So thank you so much for coming on, and to the listeners, thank you for listening to the Marathon Podcast. And have a good day, guys.
Thanks for tuning in.
You listen to the Marathon Podcast, brought to you by Wild Studio.